Hey guys, I don't know what happened there. Man, I had one of my best. Yeah, right. I'm watching Ben Affleck. You guys are so funny. Oh man, goodness gracious! I do not know what happened there. Let me pull up my dashboard. Yeah, I just tuned over. I did my normal thing, checked to see if everything was running, everything was running, and then tried to do the. Uh, you guys there? Yeah, let's just watch it. Yes, it'll be fun. What's going on, guys? Appreciate you tuning in. If anybody has a chart request, go ahead and just put them in here. We'll take a look at a few for like 10, 15 minutes. And then, man, did you guys catch anything earlier? Goodness gracious. Yeah, I think I got hacked. I didn't tweet anything too negative about Google today. I just, what's up, K-Chan? Yeah, I mean, I tweeted about Google being at volumetric support, but I didn't, necessarily imply that it was going to break down or something like that. They didn't have to, completely cut off my stream. Goodness gracious. So, did anybody were you at least able to hear the conversation on the orbs? Oh man, it was good. Best one yet. What's up, Nikolai? What's up, Chris? What's up, Netfry? What's up, Jay? Chris, it's so funny. China was hacking me. Probably. Um, let's see. Maybe I don't want to say anything about that. PDD. Is that a stock, Scott? Uh, Nikolai, Ole. Ole? Ole. Okay, let's see what we got. All right, let's go PDD. Okay, yeah, is that the Chinese company that was hacking me? Yeah, I mean, looks like it's breaking down. This definitely looks like a good one to short. What did it do? What did it do after hours? Anything? Nothing? Yeah, this one looks definitely shortable. So, let's see. It's at the, it's got a ways to go, right? So the next target obviously is 1905 on that. Ole? OLED or Ole? Or are you just saying Ole? Like Ole. CNC? Okay. Yeah. Netfry, what's going on, man? Yeah, so it definitely looks like it's working its way up, right? So, nice move up, nice kind of corrective move right here. So you just assume like A, B, C, and then kind of, going back up at this point. 32 all the way up to 74. Right, held Fibonacci levels, here and here, so at least look for a near-term target 62, and if it breaks out, look, for 71. So, and I also like how the RSI, has bullish, right, divergence, and so that would imply that this bottom was not as strong as this bottom, right, and then may get another push to the upside. So nice one, Netfry, as usual. Andrew, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you, man. Chris, first 9 minutes went blurry, and then Netflix, Tesla. Okay, cool. Oh, nice job, man. Nice. Yeah, that's really crazy, man. I don't know what was going on with the feed. I mean, obviously it's working better this time. Maybe it's when I went to on demand. It might have just consumed like too much data resources or something like that, and just kind of crashed the whole stream, which is really odd. But I got to stop doing the on demand on live. It's so cool, but it just always freezes up when I'm streaming. So. I probably do need to get faster internet, but yeah, it was a good discussion on orbs. I don't know if you guys could hear it through the whole thing, but it was a good. Once I got into it, it was pretty good. So, but anyway, all right, let's see what we got. So we got Netflix. Yeah, so Netflix has kind of been hanging around, really chopping, right? So it's kind of working its way up this fib fan line. Kind of not really doing anything. Let's just go to the daily candles. Let's go to the weekly. See what the weekly's saying, and it crashes. No, I'm just kidding. Let me see. Here. Yeah, this looks pretty interesting, right? Got through the cloud and kind of came off of it today, right? Went in yesterday, kind of came off of it today. So, I'd look for some sort of, I'm sorry, this is weekly, so it came last week. It came off of there. And then did put in a bit of a topping tail here, which took out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, almost 10 days, right? But it came right off of this volumetric area on the daily. So, and it's right at the mid Bollinger Band. So it really is just kind of chopping around, right? But if it does get some downside push, it does have, some targets down here that it could reach. Doji at, spinning top at the end of the day, right at its hourly mid BB too. So, tough to call on this one. I don't think well, let me think. Yeah, I don't have too much of a sentiment on Netflix right now. Just kind of boring. I mean, obviously, if it broke today's lows, it could get its way down to 337 or something like that. But nothing too compelling to trade for tomorrow on Netflix. I mean, there is a bit of a trend line working to the upside. I mean, here to here. I mean, so this is kind of contained, right? So if it breaks down below that, you could see some downside movement, or it just follows it back up, or just chops a little bit. So really, really tough one to call on that. What else? Facebook. Facebook, we know it's going to be gapping down tomorrow. Well, at least it should. Based on news and based on that we're at 167 right now. We're down 3 points, which is a pretty big deal for Facebook. Let's see. So kind of zooming in here. 50 maybe. So I don't know. It's kind of wishful thinking, but that'd be pretty fun. So hourly time frame though, more realistic. We could possibly test this 165 level tomorrow, just to kind of get a feel. Tesla, you thinking NEO too? Let's take a look at NEO. I think I saw in the previous chart request, just in the chat box. See, what did I say yesterday? I said it'll probably test 6, and it did. And so, I said this like yesterday or a couple days ago, that it looks like it'll test 6. So that is a level that corresponds with pretty much, I mean, the all-time low is 535. So that is a possible target if it breaks below $6. But right now, hard to really say, Elliott wave-wise, what this is up to. But for the most part, I would say here, maybe somewhere, maybe this is, wave 1, right, 2. Right, and if anything, 3, right? So we could get a little bit of a relief bounce up to maybe up to that Fibonacci area, and then back down, right? So, or it could just break volumetric level tomorrow, and maybe this wave 3 isn't done, and then at least test that 535 type level. So, it's getting pretty much destroyed. Facebook and then Tesla. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so we were kind of looking at, for finishing its wave 2, kind of in this zone. If we go to the daily, it did get above this volumetric level, and it has a couple key levels coming up, 300 obviously being a major one. So if we can get some bullish behavior tomorrow, 300 is not an unreasonable target, obviously, for Tesla. If it breaks down, gets below 290, then I think we're going to see a push more to the downside. So just kind of a key zone right now. Good, but yeah, I mean, I don't think puts are horrible, especially if you got someone on Facebook. Scott, yes. Nikolai, what's going? Oh, you're just saying. Oh, I got you, buddy. Yeah, sorry. Andrew, what's going on, man? Let's take a look at Cisco. Bum, 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 bum. I don't know if any of you guys could hear that intro that I did earlier, but anyway, wow, Cisco's really moved up quite well. So, Andrew, what we want to do is when we see like these kind of like straight moves, especially on the daily, is we want to draw a channel. Okay, because I'm just gonna. It's kind of getting into this old pitchfork level right here. It went into that old pitchfork, so I'll just keep that up there. But keep an eye on this channel, okay? Because anytime you see this type, that means we're in. Obviously, we're trending, right? And typically, that means when we're in this channel that we're working on a wave of some sort, right? So this could be, wave 1. Let me see where we're at. So here, it's had kind of a crazy move. We almost have to go to the weekly to get really definitive on it. But if anything, maybe this was a wave 1, some sort of goofy A, B, C wave right here, and now we could be working on wave 3 right to the upside. So So at this point, you just look for breaks of the channel and to see if it can hold that anymore, and that'll show you a change of trend. And then so here, like basically, if it got below this 51.50, you're right. Then we'd probably see like a push to the downside, then another wave up, and then boom, push to the downside back to 44. Or it gets back in where we'd researched this in the past, and we were working our way through this pitchfork here. We get back in the pitchfork, right, and we just kind of work its way up this way. So just kind of keep an eye on that channel there. NEE. Yeah, also moving quite well too. I mean, you can of course you could draw a channel here too, kind of in a way. I mean, it's really, you draw a real tight one too, or you could draw a larger one. So here it's just kind of working its way on the top of the channel, right? Might push again here, kind of start bouncing back up and forth. Yeah, but this has been really good stock. I mean, this one's been bouncing up and down. We can kind of go to the candlesticks here. Big move after hours there for whatever crazy reason, and then here. On the daily, just be careful. It's just been hanging up at this upper Bollinger Band. Obviously, you're overbought on the RSI. So, anytime you see a doji or some sort of push over the upper Bollinger Band, you've got oversold on the RSI, right? You might want to, might see a pullback or something like that. So 187 is not impossible for it to get to, before there's more consolidation. A lot of times, the 10 MA likes to catch up, right? So here it caught up, right? Kind of consolidated, and then it went out again. So, it's at the upper Bollinger Band. So last time it touched upper Bollinger Band was here, then it consolidated. So it might just be in a consolidation phase and then, break up, maybe to 195, something like that. NXPI. Okay, bearish off the get-go, right? Because you've got, you've had 3 red days in a row, so you might actually kind of trip you up here and give you a green day. See how I did that here? 1, 2, 3 red days and a green day. But I do like that is a momentum shooting star, right, going to the downside, and it's through this, see this volumetric level right here on the daily. So it got below that, right? And so it's right at the mid Kelt, but if it gets a push to the downside, it might want to tag not only the Bollinger Band, but that also is corresponding. It's got a bow tie right there on the 200-day moving average. So that could be a potential target, right, if it breaks the lows. So so keep an eye on that. Rockdine, what's going on, man? Roku, let's take a look. Okay, yeah, so this came up today. I had this question on Twitter earlier. Big move up from earnings, right? A couple nice breaks that were just, pretty phenomenal. And then just like this kind of random push down, hits the gaps down on the downgrade, and then hits the mid Bollinger Band and then pauses. Okay, so this is a pause bar right here, in my opinion, right? So this could, it's a doji, right? So what it could do, right, is it could break to the upside and then reclaim some levels here. But watch out, if it breaks to the downside, right, and takes out those levels, it might be a measured move, right? And so measured moves are basically right, down, sideways, and then down equal, right? It's not quite equal, but right. So that's your measured move. So you might see, a big bar next. You might see, or a couple other bars just to cover that measured move, and basically retracing a lot of those levels. So the levels, though, speaking of retracement, from the gap, from the earnings, was that before or after hours? It was after. So the next day was really the big day there. So that moved up here. Right. Okay. So it's already retraced over 50%. So basically the question is could it retrace that 100% level? Does it want to retest where the pre-earnings level before it does something else, right? And so this bar is a great bar to try to figure out what's going on. So you can see here it did the exact same thing on this big move up. So it's like, hey, is this going to be, now that's the one thing, right? It is a little longer shadowed. So if it were really tight and compressed, right, with small upper and lower shadows, you have a higher chance for a measured move. But sort of here, it just kind of consolidated after that and broke. So just watch a break of that low of 59.63 for a potential measured move to the downside. Sandeep, what's going on, man? ABGO, I hope, I don't know if you played that through earnings. I know you've been asking about it a lot, but looks like it's up 4%. So that's pretty good. This is a great one to look at on the 15 orb list for tomorrow. In fact, thank you for bringing that up. I will add that to the game plan. Okay, it's on there. And yeah, we'll just keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on the 15 orb on that for tomorrow. Let's just see how that looked on our pitchfork. So it is at, what was that level again? 281. Right, so it got up here. Look at that. It took out this pivot right here. So so that's going to be key support there. So that level 280.44 is a good place if you want to, if you want to trade along. to get some momentum at the open. Use that as kind of like a stop level and see if we can take out that 286 tomorrow. If the market's really strong and AVGO is really strong. Otherwise, just look at the 15-minute orb and do that. So, Andrew, if you're still there, you can see this channel, how AVGO is working its way up this channel here, right? Do you see how once it broke that channel, right, it was a distinct change of trend. Like I said, it'll go down. It's not going to go down directly, right? And then it'll pull back up and then go down again, right? So this is exactly what I was talking about, right? So just keep an eye on that. Anytime you see like these kind of moves that are really clearly trending, draw a channel around it and then wait till it breaks that channel for a potential trend change, right? Or just kind of keep trading it to the upside until it breaks that channel, right? So every time it tags it, you can try to go long, and then until it breaks, what does it go? A trend is your friend until the trend ends, something like that. So anyway. So that's pretty cool. What else we got? Legend. How's that working out for you? Ligand. Looking pretty good. So again, still nice break. Got through that volumetric level. So I mean, to me, it wants to at least tag somewhere on this Fibonacci level, right? So maybe 130 is a reasonable target, and the RSI is pushing up, so that's a very bullish indicator. ATVI, bearish, right? So still, it's just blah, just making really no real efforts to get above anything, right? So that's basically all. So I mean, even if it pushed up, I bet you they'd push it back down. So this is the type of one I would short any rips that come across. So on that one, and then Adobe, did they ever earnings today, or is it tonight? Yeah, let's see how that's looking here after hours. Just crazy. Adobe's a little bit tricky to trade, obviously. So would hate to be caught long up there, right? Kind of pushed itself down. So this would be fun to actually short tomorrow. So I would watch this on the 15-minute orb, see if it gives you an opportunity on that one. And obviously look at key levels, right? So Adobe's been pretty interesting. Look at that too. Remember I said this the other day, I said this topping tail right here at volumetric level, I said I'm not going to say it's going to be any indication into earnings, but it certainly was, right? Of course, then it gave you a hammer the day before, right, today. But that was just a bull trap, and then so like that. So let's just take a look, see if there's any levels that could be taken out tomorrow. Adobe usually trades pretty clean. It looks like there's a gap here. Let's see, that was 236.26. And 237, yes, there is a gap here at 236. So if we gap it into the pitchfork, right, you have a key volumetric level here at 251. If that breaks down, the future target would be that. Not saying it's going to do it the same day, but 236. So I might kind of tomorrow, might kind of go down, hit this volumetric level, hold. If that breaks, then just long term, put spread or something like that to get to that gap fill. Awesome, Sandy. That's really great. I'm glad AVGO worked out for you. Hoorah! Jordan, what's going on, buddy? Google? Yeah, let's take a look. Yeah, so I tweeted this one out a little bit earlier. It's been really strong the last couple days. So, up, pause, right? And then it came back in, right? So this volumetric level right here, about 1187, 1190, is it really key level for it to hold, right? If it holds that, right, if we zoom out a little bit further, you can see this pitchfork, which is this blue line right here, right? We got through the median line, and so we just got to see if it gets through there. If it holds 1180 at that point, if it holds that and gives you a pivot, then you could see some further upside, right? So definitely worth watching. We do have a lot of negative divergence on the RSI though, so just be careful with that. So we got this downward sloping trend line on on the RSI. So just it's kind of could be getting weak here. So we'll see, just to see how it handles this level in here. Jay, what's going on? What does the fib arc tell about the stock? Okay, glad you asked. I did a video on it yesterday or 2 days ago, and basically it just shows it's just another way to use the golden number in natural systems. So the stock market being a organism of many different minds, put together in computers. So it does make it a very interesting to trade, right? And so what it is, it just kind of gives you an idea of potential pivot levels or points of significant interest, right? So if I draw a, oh, that's the line. If I do an arc, and you can do it from peak to trough or trough to peak. What it does is it kind of shows you kind of key levels, right? So you can see here, right, this volumetric level just by using this, the Fibonacci arcs, right, just show you that this is where it is right now, where this volumetric level is a key level, right, for it. So, and just kind of look how it behaves around that later, right? So here it came up, it hit the Fibonacci arc level, kind of came back in. Came up to Fibonacci level, broke through, hit that Fibonacci level, came back in, right? Back up, broke through, came back in, right? So see how it kind of holds on to that level? It's kind of key levels, right? And so we're at it right now, and we're right at this volumetric level right now. So it'd be interesting to see if it just kind of consolidates a little bit, kind of travels down the arc a little bit, maybe even hits the Fibonacci fan line, and then comes back up, right, to test that level. So there's a couple ways to look at it. Does it travel around, and down? Thinkorswim does a full circle. Some of them only do like half arcs. So if that kind of gives you an idea, that obviously you don't think it's going to go completely in a full circle, right? So if anything, it might just travel down, right? Halfway, that type of thing. So, but it is interesting to watch, right? So you can do it from any peak to trough or trough to peak. So if I did one here, right, you kind of see as well, So here the Google came down, right? Well, that was the prior one, but here, see how this level, this arc right here kind of played out pretty well and then broke to the downside, right? And then this arc kind of played out and then broke to the downside. And it just gives you something to gauge and to look at, and just to show that that price follows a lot of different natural laws, right? That maybe we can't see with just our eyes, right? Just by looking at the charts. So that's basically that. 46 was IPO price. Yep, exactly. So it's retesting those levels. Thanks, Scott. Options virus, yeah, 15 hours is awesome, man. So hopefully you guys caught some of that lesson in the beginning. Maybe, even if I was just talking it, like it's really good for when you're gapping and there's like real news, right? So, hey Kim, I skipped your request? I'm sorry, man. Some of this thing just jumps over. Okay, sorry, buddy. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, see, that's the thing with YouTube and this in this area here. Like sometimes I just click it and it just jumps over some stuff. So I apologize, man. Let's look at DPZ. I promise you I did not intend to jump over your stuff. So dominoes, let's see. So it's kind of interesting there on the arc. So let's look at the fib fan. Right, and all it does is just kind of give you ideas of levels. You can see how well it held that Fibonacci fan line, came up, held that Fibonacci fan line, broke down, right, got through this Fibonacci arc, and the Fibonacci fan is kind of working its way down. So to me, it seems like it might, if anything, it might test 256 and then kind of come back down again. But it is also at a volumetric level too, and if it can't get above, let's just say 248, right, then possible more downside, right? So sorry about that, buddy. AMZ. I'm sorry, Amazon. Okay, so Amazon, same thing, kind of same stuff. This was an example from earlier from trying to do the orbs earlier, so let me remove those. Okay, so Amazon's kind of chopping right here, but if anything, it looks like it's putting in some sort of, kind of bull flaggish, type stuff. So, consolidation, just kind of waiting on moves. But when it's moving, it's been moving. So, yeah, I think a break of today's high, eventually you could take out this pivot here, 1731, then maybe 1780, type stuff. So, as long as it holds, this 1660 level, I think there's still, a bullish argument to it. And then CVS, yeah, congratulations, NetFry and anybody who's been who traded this to the upside the last few days. So obviously here today was a consolidation day. So at this point we just have to just kind of see how much it wants to consolidate. Probably just basically an impulse push up, pull back, and then up again. So I mean you could even, if you wanted to, you could do a retracement here to here and just kind of get like a zoom in and see what it wants to do. Right. So kind of came in here this 28.6. I mean, I'd say like worst case scenario, it pulls back to 54 and then goes up, my humble opinion, right? So we do have some bullish divergence here on the RSIs too off the daily. So I think ultimately it's working its way higher, right? Because it's kind of really down for no reason. So it looks pretty good. Okay, yeah, so sorry about that. K-Chan, Diz, and SQ, sorry about skipping over you guys. Sometimes, like I said, YouTube, when I scroll down, it like literally jumps over gaps, so I apologize about that. Disney's a tough one to trade. I think a lot of you guys can kind of verify that, but it is holding this channel pretty well, so really the key is bit breaking over 115, see if you can get something there, like maybe like a maybe there's a cloud or something like that that is maybe interesting. That now it's over all the clouds. It just has to break that level, that 115 level, and then it might get another push to the upside. Test the high 115s for the upper Bollinger Band, something like that. So Disney's a tricky little stock to trade. So you'd think it'd be like awesome because it's like Disney, but it's not. And then SQ on my do not trade list, but it does move occasionally. Looks like you got an inside day, which is nice. So just look for a break to the upside or the downside tomorrow. But just be careful in case tomorrow is a choppy day, which I doubt it. Might get a double inside day, and then you could look to trade the double inside day strategy there. So, but I would look for breaks to the upside or the downside. If it breaks to the upside, possible target 79.50 ish. Break to the downside. You've got a bunch of consolidation here of moving averages that might want to test that low 76 level. Ole. Yeah, I don't know how I skipped over you guys. Okay, so yeah, Carl, we got all those 15 orbs are the best. Don't worry. All right, Akon, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry I missed over you. Scott today, GE. Yeah, GE down on the 15 orbs, probably a good one to look at, right? So here. Right, but it's contained by that first 15 minutes, right? So this is one of those ones where you get those huge 15-minute orbs. That's why I like them, because they can tell you whether or not you want to be in a trade or not, right? And here, obviously, no. But one thing you can do, right, is look at the bottom of the 15 orb next game plan. So mostly like a liquid stock, Michael. So I'm going to look for like any fangs that have like some news on it, or anything that trades that's pretty liquid, like a mega cap or something like that. Like, like if Chipotle comes out and like they found more Nova virus in their, in their barf tray, like then I'm going to trade a 15-minute orb on that one, right? Because it's going to have a lot of volatility in it, and it's pretty liquid. But if something comes out on like some goofy no-name bank or something like that, or or just a name I've never heard of, I'm not going to trade those, right? But if it's something that's really liquid and something we know and are familiar with, as a mega cap stock like a Dow stock or something like that, or an S&P top 50 or top 100, just something that we know, like something happens to Starbucks or something, then I'll look for a 15-minute orb, right? So on those, like Boeing definitely is worth looking at 15-minute orbs. In fact, let's take a look at how Boeing has behaved with those, right? So here, it's a big bar, but Boeing's a big stock, right? So here, this 15-minute orb right here was at 374, all the way down to 372, so a 2-point move off of that. A little bit tougher with options, right? And then we had a 15-minute orb the prior day because it's just all over the news. Would have been a little bit tricky, right? But that's where I was saying in the other video, that's where you kind of go to different time frames. So here, if I went to the the 60-minute time frame from yesterday, so that 15-minute orb, what I'll do is I'll draw a level here at where that 15-minute orb was, and I'll show what that looks like on the hourly here. Where am I? Oh, tough to see. It's in the clouds. Oh, here it was. Okay. So here's your level, right? So that's your 15-minute level, and then it went inside 60 here. So it doesn't, you can try to hit the orb and try to, preemptively hit that break, right? It was under the VWAP, so you had the 60-minute break to the downside, but here was beautiful, okay? Inside 60 at the 15-minute orb level, a break of that to the downside was a clear move to the downside. So that was 374, and if you caught that inside 60 to the downside, you would have basically, the news would have been, you'd have been all over it when the United States grounded the Boeing, right? So that was just awesome. So boom, 374 all the way down 10-point move on Boeing, just using that orb level. Okay, so big name stocks that have reason that are gapping on some sort of for some sort of reason. And then I like, you can use 15 for the next day, but I also like 30s for the next day. I prefer 30s for the next day. This way, it's kind of one of those ones. It's like it just sits around for 30 minutes and then it moves. Just something that I noticed. So hopefully that helps. Ike, I'm glad we got to that. Jay, gonna check your video to get a better understanding for the most part, but I see the role complete. Good. I'm glad. No problem. My pleasure. What's the triple witching I'm hearing about supposedly happening on Friday? Yeah. So triple witching. I think it's quadruple witching, if I'm not mistaken. So basically what happens is it refers to when stock index futures, stock index options, and stock options and futures expire simultaneously. So this only happens, when does this happen? This only happens a couple times per year. It happens the third Friday of March, which is coming up tomorrow, I believe. Is tomorrow the third Friday? Yeah, sorry guys. It feels like it's only the first, but yeah, it's third Friday. Unbelievable. I'm sorry, it feels the second. But yeah, so it's like basically a bunch of options and futures are all expiring tomorrow, and so lots of shenanigans, lots of trying to pin, market maker shenanigans, stuff like that. So yeah, so that's what it is. That's what quadruple witching is, or triple witch. Triple witching, let's say, maybe it's just the monthly and the weekly, maybe one index or something like that. So yeah, good stuff. Yeah, Nefra, I know, but you still rocked CBS yesterday. Good job on that. You're on CNC right now. Cool. It's looking good. Acom, sorry, I missed the beginning of the session. Did you go over SPX, EX? Yeah, so outlook for tomorrow. Sorry, guys. The last one. No, it's okay because my video wasn't working when I originally analyzed the market. But for the most part, basically where we're at on the SPX is we are at key. Let me remove these levels. There. Yeah, so we're at we're still at these resistance levels and we have an inside day. And I talked a lot about why this inside day is a narrow range day, and every time we see that, we get pretty much a move after that in like 1 to 2 days, right? So I'm expecting some action tomorrow, so it should be pretty interesting. Or not, or we go double inside day and just chop around. Obviously, that's always a possibility, but to me, I think we're gonna get some movement tomorrow. Feel like stuff has been cooking, right? So yeah, so hope that helps. So sorry that it was all jacked up in the beginning. So Prayer Kid, glad you're back, man. Good to see you guys. K-Chan, glad we went over that. Jay, sorry it is. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, 4 times a year, I think. Yeah, exactly. So good. All right, guys. Shirley, sorry if you missed it tonight. Sorry we got cut off. I know you didn't have the patience to wait through it, but anyway, so stayed a little extra to go through some chart requests. So hopefully that helps you guys, and I hope you guys have an awesome trading day tomorrow. Remember, quadruple witching, options expiring, so you might want to trade next week's options so you don't get caught up in the mess of this week's, but there also might be some good lottos to play tomorrow too. So just be careful out there. Movement is up. Yeah, right now the movement, it's been up, right? So we just had to break ACAM. We just had to break the high, basically the high of 28.22, whatever that yesterday's high was, and we could get some more push to the upside. So. And that's all I got. All right, guys, have a good night, and really appreciate you guys, and get some rest. And tomorrow's Friday. Thank goodness it's Friday. And have a good night. I'll talk to you guys next time.